Happy Christmas Eve. How you doing? Wow, can you believe it? Christmas is here. It's crazy. Time flies when you're having fun. Seems like we just rung in the new year of 2024 just a few days ago, and here we are on the heels of 2025. We're just about there. My goodness, so glad you're here this morning. My name is Bill Deweese. I'm a professional voiceover actor, voice talent, voice artist. I've been doing this full time for 18 years, a voiceover coach for the past 15 years, and my latest book right here, which you can find a link below in the description to that if you want to check that out. Administratively, let me just mention something before we get into the topic for today, and that is, of course, tomorrow's Christmas. There will be no huddle tomorrow morning, and then I'm taking the week off between Christmas and New Year's. That's always a real lull in work. It's a good chance for me to sleep in and catch up, and all that kind of stuff. So I'll be taking that time off. However, our good friend Mike Hathcote will be here on the day after Christmas, the 26th, which will be Thursday. And then he'll be back on New Year's and then New Year's Day. But the days in between, there will be no huddle. So again, Mike will be here the day after Christmas. And then on the 31st, Christmas Eve, I'm sorry, New Year's Eve, and then New Year's Day on January 1st. Again, I can't believe we're even talking about that right now. Kind of crazy. I thought it would be appropriate to talk about something I've been giving a lot of thought to, and I think about this time of year a lot, and that is what's most important. What's the one thing? And I think in every aspect of their life, every aspect in our lives, if we're willing to take the time and think about it, we can come up with the one thing that is most important to success, however we define it within that area of life. It could be a relationship with a spouse, a partner, with your children. It could be your job. Certainly, voiceover in this case. There's almost always at least one central thing. And here's the thing: the older I get, the more I realize this. And sometimes I'm a slow learner, and this thought has been dawning on me for years now, and I don't know that I've fully grasped it yet, but I'm working on it, and that is less is more. Let that sink in for a moment. More is not more. More. More creates chaos. Less is more. Less creates focus. It creates intent. And ultimately, it creates change. And so the thing that I like to think about typically, as the new year rolls around in my life, are what are the one things, or at the most two or three, not 5 or 10 or 15, but what's the one thing or the few things that if I really focus on, and it could be financially, again, it could be physically, it could be in any area of your life, but what are the biggest levers you can pull? What's the one thing that if I did this, it would make a huge change in this area of my life. And I think it's worth thinking about it in all areas of your life. And I was thinking this morning back you know, when I was a kid, and I think this is a great illustration of the power of focus, because there is so much power in focus. On a hot summer day, it could get even in Ohio, it could get very, very hot, but not nearly as hot as beneath the lens of a magnifying glass. And I don't know what neighbor friend of mine turned me on to this, but the idea that you could take a magnifying glass, and if you focused it right under the sun, if you took that sunlight that hits just that few square inches of surface on the magnifying glass, and if you focused it on an object, it would burn. And I remember we would have these like asphalt strips between where the sidewalks would be divided, like between yards. This is like a thin asphalt strip. And we would take the magnifying glass, and we would just put that laser beam on that little asphalt strip until we would see that black tar begin to bubble. And I was so fascinated by that. If that little area hit the skin, it was, sunshine, it was warm, but you put that underneath the magnifying glass and create focus and intent, and you could literally bore a hole through everything from bugs. I'm not saying I did, and if I did, I'm very ashamed of it, to asphalt or a dried leaf or whatever. It's powerful, 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 powerful. And naturally, I think our lives bend toward chaos if we're not intent intent or mindful and intentional in what we do is that we just kind of start taking on things. It's like a yard that's not mowed or tend, or like a garden that's not tended to. And weeds, start to come in and we get too much of something in there, and you don't prune things back. And if you don't prune, if you have a fruit tree or a garden and you don't prune out the excess, then the stuff that's in there can't grow and be healthy. So less creates more in that kind of scenario, not only in a garden, but I think in our minds and in our lives as well. So my encouragement to you, yeah, on a broad sense, you think about the big areas of your life. What's the one thing? But think about your voiceover business this year. What is the one thing that if you committed yourself to that one thing, it would make the biggest difference? It's really worth your time and consideration. It might be, you realize and understand that getting a very well produced, professionally produced demo is going to make the most difference in moving you forward. Maybe it's worth picking up a side gig to save the money for that. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe you've got that, and maybe you just need to, maybe direct email marketing is your thing. Maybe you want to learn and master an online platform like a Voice123 or Voices.com. I'll tell you what mine is. I'm focused, Fiverr is going to be my primary focus for 2025 because I'm such a believer, not only in seeing Mallory and the amazing things she's accomplished, but I'm starting to see it myself too, as I more consistently begin to get good, higher paying clients. And I know that if I quit focusing on 10 things and start focusing on one thing, that I'm going to see some pretty big changes in 2025. That excites me. Um, it requires discipline. It's not easy to do. It's hard to do. Again, our bent is toward chaos, taking on. We feel like if we have more stuff, we do more things, we have more of this or that, or we try more things, we're going to see more success. But typically, it's just the opposite. What ensues is lack of focus, confusion, chaos. So let one thing be your guide in 2025. And especially as it comes, to your business. What is the one thing that you can do? You know, and yeah, if you want to have like a secondary and a tertiary thing, in the wings for if you feel like you really nail that one thing, you've got it rolling. Sure, move on, but not until you know that you've got that one thing in place and it's cooking and it's churning and it's producing for you. So don't come up with a long list of stuff to accomplish in 2025. At least my encouragement to you is to make it very simple, but make those things that you choose very well thought out because they can be powerful levers for you in 2025. And what I want to see is for you to achieve as much success as you possibly can in voiceover and in all areas of your life in 2025. Why not? I mean, we only go around once, right? Let's do it right. Let's do it with intent and let's do it with focus. Let me check and see who's on the live chat this morning. What's going on? Terry in Falston, Maryland. Stiletto, always good to see you. Hope you're doing well in Newark, Delaware, and hope that knee's coming along well. Eddie, good morning to you in San Antonio. Merry Christmas to you as well. Thank you. Hey, Jim, what's going on in Anderson, South Carolina? Edward, good morning to you in snow-covered New York City. We will see a white Christmas. And I'm sure there's nothing much better than a white Christmas in New York City. Colin, good morning to you from balmy Houston. Hey, Becky, Merry Christmas Eve to you from the Mitten. John in Denver. Jim in Memphis, not Denver and Memphis. Put those together and yeah. Ethan, happy holidays to you from frigid Toronto, Ontario. Good morning, Nancy in Yankton, South Dakota. Merry Christmas, everyone, she says. John in Rhinebeck, New York. John, I received your gift yesterday. Vicky and I, shoot. Oh, John gave me this really cool bell that I laid out to bring down this morning. I'll bring it back in my next thing. But gave me this really cool bell for the morning huddle. And it's very much appreciated, John. Thank you for that. It's loud too. You're going to like it. It's effective, very effective. Paul in Arkansas, Rick in St. Paul, Phil in Tokyo, Ron, what's going on in Grand Haven, Max in Carson City, Nevada, Roger, Merry Christmas to you in LA. Now turn off your mic and go help your wife get ready for tomorrow. Roger, you're assuming my wife wants my help. I think part of the wisdom of being a husband is knowing when you're wanted and needed and when you're not. So right now, I think I'm not needed, but as soon as I am, believe me, I'll be there. I'll be there. Thanks, Roger. Hey, Kirk, what's going on? Merry Christmas to you in Greenville, South Carolina. Rob, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to all. Ray Holland, good morning from Lakeland, Florida. Ray, good to see you. Jason, what's going on in Nebraska? Kathleen in Wyoming. Rusty in the UP of the Mitten. Sirius in Charlotte. Doug in Greensboro, North Carolina. Wayne in Port Orchard, Washington. Tim, Merry Christmas to you. David, Hamilton, Ontario. Jim, what's going on? It's 41 degrees in South Carolina. Phil in Tokyo, Merry Christmas to you. Sandra in Dallas-Fort Worth. Jim Grable, Sandra from Worthington, Ohio. May your Christmas be blessed and your new year prosperous. Thank you, Sandra, and you as well. Kevin, glad you're feeling better. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that, man, and I'm happy too. Believe me. Megan says, good morning and Merry Christmas from Manitoba, Canada. Jim once lit a bottle rocket with a magnifier. Lit a bottle rocket with a magnifying glass. Of course. Yeah. Why not? Why not? Let's see here. Ron, good morning. Ben, and Merry Christmas to you in the UK. Jim says, got a gig on Fiverr. All right, fantastic, Jim. I love that. Josh says, can't be online long. Just wanted to say Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to all the folks of all faiths. Josh from Norman, Oklahoma. Thank you, Josh, and to you as well. Jay in Covington, Georgia. Happy holidays from John in Atlanta. John in Vietnam. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you. Hey, Joe, thank you, and Merry Christmas to you in the UK. David says Merry Christmas from Argentina. Guys, I wish you a very Merry Christmas, the happiest of holiday seasons, Happy New Year. And again, Mike Hathcote will be back the day after tomorrow. And I will see you guys very soon. Take care. Happy holidays.